you're the only one in here right now.
Yeah, I just told you why.
Okay. So what's supposed to be happening here then?
Nothing. We're on lunch, so I just need to be able to connect in when at 3:30.
Okay. Do you know what to do from here?
I don't know. I've managed so far to get in and get booted out 3 different times, and Andy's up there using Zoom all afternoon, which isn't helping. So he's just on another one now. So whether I'll get booted out again, who knows? Why I can't just have a fucking day to do what I need to do. So I'll just at 3:30, I'll try and join back in and see.
Okay.
So you haven't gone for groceries yet?
I'll leave it right now.
Okay, there's some food left.
Oh, that'll be fine.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
That you organized?
I'm going to look now.
You look like you're on.
Yep.
Do you want volume?
Yes. Nobody's talking.
Nobody's talking yet. Looks like we're waiting for 2 more people. We'll just give it another minute here. And who's ever listening, if anyone got bumped off and they were trying to get back on, they had to go to the waiting room or whatever, I removed that waiting room thing. So, it's gone.
Marlene, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, Jan.
Hi. We can't see your picture. Like
Okay.
you're not on the screen.
Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, oh, here's my video. Okay, there I am.
Click down there.
All right. So I guess
Give
we
everybody
we have 2 people.
These, where do I think?
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I guess,
I get this crazy thing when I'm clearing my teeth chatter, like it's like a release and my teeth won't stop chattering.
really, for how long? How long do your teeth chatter for, Margot? Margot, can you hear me? Maybe she can't hear me. Let's check here. Okay, I know everyone's muted. Okay, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I was asking you, Margot, how long do they chatter for? How long afterwards?
Whoa, it's just like, I have these beautiful stones. So just over lunch, I took these stones they're like ceramics made here on the island. And I put me with one and then 9 back and 9 forward. And then I just stood over them with clearing them as a visual. And then my teeth can't stop. They chatter like a release. It goes on for quite a while. And I get it quite often. It's intermittent, but it, say a good half hour.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah. And it's so often when I get on these calls, it's like a yawning. I must hold a lot in the jaw bone, like the joint. And then it's like a release through the.
Okay. All right. Somebody needs, I guess Dia needs the session link. Okay. Hang on just a second.
I'm here in the same area at work. Oh.
And- All right. Get this over to Dia. Okay. All right, so that's for Dia. And anyone else? I guess that was unknown, so, okay. All right, so I guess Dia's getting on, and then we have Renee. So, well, any observations? Let's kind of maybe start here. Is there any observations or anything that came up? Any realizations? All right.
Did you see the message from Janie?
Yes, yeah. I did, thank you. Okay, well, let's go through DNA. This is a big one, so there's a recording for everybody if you're not here to start with us on time. So let's get going because this is a big one.
So Marlene, what I have on my screen is, it says DNA reprogramming your code and a picture of you.
Mhm.
And this actual slides are off very small on the left side.
Okay, right, yeah, I'm gonna go into them each as I click into each one, yeah.
Okay. It's just different than this morning.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, so as long as you can see the slides, that's what counts here. Okay, so this is DNA programs. They are a gift, really. Again, besides the timelines, DNA is a gift to us in the blueprint, in our human blueprint. It's from DNA direction and instruction that we as humans are able to enjoy our life. So yes.
I can't see the slide. Did you put it up into the middle? Like you called up the first one?
Do you see the first slide, or this? You still see the general slide DNA?
The intro.
Yeah, that's where I'm starting at right now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Haven't gone into the next one yet.
Okay.
But this is for DNA activation. So we actually have a whole protocol here around DNA and what to do, how to fix it, how to identify faulty programming. And that's what we're going to be working in, is faulty programming. We're not doing anything with our DNA other than fixing the things that are faulty, the programs that are in there that are not beneficial for our life right now. There's only about 3%. So 97% of us, whatever's there in the DNA is working as it should to, to give us our systems to, all the life, everything moving around, everything doing what it's supposed to be doing is fine. 97% of it is fine. So it's just the 3% that there's issues around, and that's what we're going to be working on. So we're going to be learning how to own our DNA, how to be in charge of it, and how to transform it. If you think about it, this really is a gift. Once we find that we are the owners of our own code, whoever altered or tampered with this code didn't want us to know that we could alter it ourselves, alter it back, and enjoy the life that we were meant to live, because this has been dark forces of some sort that have gone in and put limits on the humans. Because if you read, like in the Bible, they would say they live to be 700-800 years old. That's the body, that's the same human body that we still have today. So if that was created to live that long, and then you hear about the lifetimes of the people on Lemuria, of which I'm from, apparently, and so the lifetimes there were many hundreds of years old too. So if that's the case, what happened to take it from 800 years down to like 100 years? Something is not right, and even if somebody lives a real healthy life and has no problems, no issues, no diseases, no illness, they just, what they call, died of old age, maybe they got to 104 and then just died in their sleep overnight. Well, what happened there? Of course, there were things that aged the person along the way. So now those were DNA programs of aging put into us that limited the glands and the organs and so forth. So regardless, even if they didn't have an active illness or disease, they still had compromised DNA. And I think this is from Renee. So just 1 second, okay? This is Marlene. Hi, Renee. Oh, we're on. Did you get the afternoon link? Maybe. Oh, okay. Let me send you that. Okay, everyone's on except Dia is not here. She was asking about this, the link too.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
Dia's
here,
on
Marlene.
now. So that link worked for you. Okay, so Renee,
Yes,
I'm gonna
it did.
give you not the zoo link, the Zoom link. A bunch of zoo critters here. Okay, so I just sent you the same link I just sent Dia, and she's on, so that should work for you. Okay. All right, text me if you don't get it. Okay, thanks. Bye bye. Okay. So she should get it now, and we'll continue. So something happened, even if the person didn't have an active disease or illness, they still aged to the point where, okay, now it's time to leave, right? 104. This is about it. Nobody else is living this long. That's the end of the program. We're out of here, you know? So there was still that limitation and things that brought down the, and that's what I specialize in, is the endocrine system and the glands mostly. So there were things that limited the function of our glands and organs. And that is what's aging people. It's these programs. So this is huge. This is huge in that we are able to affect a desired result now in lifting these programs that have limited humans. So when you think about it that way, it's incredible to have this gift. And it was a gift given to us, divinely given to us. And we were supposed to have this, but it has been hidden from us. The ability to do this has been hidden from us people. So we're going to learn how to own our DNA, how to be in charge of it, how to transform it, and see how the quantum field works with the DNA, then clear the space and the energy, and to allow the shift, clearing the obstacles, calling the blessings of the universe to us as we spend this time together. So, and then this is the shooting dice. Okay, so it's this, like you're shooting dice, and then it kind of just goes, just kind of across from right to left. Right to left is what we're looking at here. So that's 3% of DNA. What we address is small. That's the programs that don't serve us, our wellness, health, vitality, wealth, whatever, connection to the divine. And the process of recessive DNA activation is meant to give access to and enable us to correct the DNA programs that have caused problematic issues. And by using this protocol, you'll be able to experience your life in full self-expression. And in this section, we're going to focus on the improvement of and correction to the programs that cause illness, issues with wealth and love. So that's what we're focusing on here. And I think these are the big three for anybody, the health, wealth, and romance. Yeah. So altering DNA, with the awareness that there's problems in your life or in your family history, these deeply alter your DNA through your mental body. So just by thinking of it. So you can't alter this just by thinking of it. That's what I'm trying to say. We actually have to do a process. So you can think, all you want, but going through a process of recessive DNA activation is what we want to do to be able to affect a change here. So examples of DNA activations could be removing of a cancer gene. And yes, we can do that. And the activation of the DNA program for healthy cells. So like if you, just for an example, somebody with breast cancer, and I worked with somebody who had one breast removed, and they were fearful of having the other breast, affected. So what we did is we released the cancer gene, and then we activated the DNA program for healthy cells. So for the breast that was still there, we wanted to bring in the healthy cells. And so, and yeah, that was years ago, and she's still fine. So these things are definitely powerful, powerful, powerful. I have a woman right now, which it's incredible how the circumstances of this virus is playing out, because before, maybe a month or two ago, we had a session together, and she told me that she had a breast removed, and the cancer's gone and so forth, but they're telling her that she should have the other one removed now too, just in case. It's the right thing to do. And they kind of bullied her into it. The way it sounded to me, like that control energy, that medical control energy, that's what they did. And they made her feel that she was going to be very irresponsible for her health if she did not remove her other breast, because there's no other way. This is it. This is all you have, lady. And if you don't do it, you're killing yourself, because if that gets into your lung, then there's nothing we can do. So you're now chancing your life on lung, if it gets into the lung. And so that's what she told me. And I said, well, there's a possibility that you don't have to experience that. Is that something that you would entertain, that possibility? And she was still so sold on the medical model that she had to do this. That's what the doctor said. It's scheduled, and she's going to do it. Well, a couple weeks ago, she emailed me and said that her surgery was canceled because it was more of an elective surgery. And so they're going to postpone it for now. And so I said, okay, so let's look at this, and let's go ahead and remove the cancer gene, and then send some beautiful light in there and heal up the cells, anything that's going on. And we did that. We did that on this next session. So whether or not this is going to change her mind or whatever after this is over with, and they want to schedule her again, I don't know, but I think it's definitely going to have a bearing on her choice. I feel that she's in a different mindset now. So, and that can be too, is that we need to work with our with perception too, right? So that could be atheist thought forms, right? So that could be that feeling that I cannot affect a change. I have no control whatsoever over my cells, over my body. I just gave all my power over to this guy in a white coat because he seems to know more about this than I do. So that's atheist thought forms is the beliefs that enforce the idea that something cannot be changed or shifted or transformed. So it's not that you don't believe in God, but it is the reason they call it atheist. It's not that so much as it is that you don't believe really in the power, that God power that you have in you to affect a change. So, excuse me. These are things that you want to look at and possibly clear then too. So, so when you're going in to do breast cancer, for example, yes, you're going to look at DNA, obviously, and then you can do timelines too. So is there something, like we said before, in the past, another life that is affecting cancer? Could be, right? And clear that. But then go into the amplification chart. Lucifer stops. Okay, great. Bloodline. Is there something from bloodline now? Is there from the mother's family, genealogy, whatever, that other people, other women in her family have had this issue? So if you get yes to bloodline, okay, you're going to have to clear that. You know, and then go down the whole rest of the list of amplification. Is there soul contracts here? Are there curses? There could certainly be for this situation. I would say, yeah. Trauma, that could be a traumatic event in this life with emotions that, so really depends on each issue. So like each gland or each organ has an issue tied to it. And in our level 1 you may remember that I was using a book from Wendy Jensen, The Healing Questions Guide. And there's others like it, but this is kind of comprehensive. It's a big book. And if you go in here and you look at is it like breast cancer, am I getting, okay, yes, I will. Yeah, maybe you didn't get that chart. Okay, so it's the amplification. Let's go into cancer. And actually you want to look at breast, I guess, if that's the part we're looking at.
What was the name of that book, Marlene?
It's the Healing Questions Guide. Not sure if you can see that. Okay, the Healing Questions Guide, Wendy Jensen. Yeah, breast cancer. And then it depends on, is it the right or the left breast? Okay, so you can get into both sides. But essentially what's going on with breast cancer is they're going to ask some questions. What will it take for me to accept my maternal role in a way that feels right for me and in a way that blesses my loved ones? So around your, being a mother, I guess. And what do I need to forgive for convincing me I would not be a good mother, or that being a mother would be such a drudge? And what will it take to move beyond social and cultural expectations of women and embrace the true divine femininity in a way that honors my soul? So it does have to do with your owning your femininity, owning your role as mother. The right breast is learning to love yourself, create healthy boundaries. Left one is stop allowing others to use me and my resources inappropriately, and being able to draw from the wellspring within to receive the recognition and appreciation that I desire rather than expecting it from others. So each area of the body and an issue that it's causing you has a message for you. And then I like what she does, because then she has little affirmations after each one that you can use as a clearing, as a matter of fact, because excuse me, every day I am learning how to love myself more and more. I accept who I am and how I love. I appreciate and acknowledge myself. I accept my divine feminine gifts and express them in a way, okay, we're on, that honors who I am at the deepest level. So you could use this as a clearing and kind of turn it around, saying the right permission and ability to know how to love myself more and more, to accept who I am and how I love, to appreciate and acknowledge myself, accept my divine gifts and ability to express them in a way that honors who I am. Letting go of, and then you could say, breast cancer, or, dark energies or programs or whatever, and domination, suppression, and control. So that would be clearing. You could chart out, and then whatever is blocking that is what you're going to clear, right? So then take your charts. Is Lucifer stops a block for that? Yes. Is bloodline a block for that? Maybe so. Breast cancer is in the family. Clan, yes or no. Soul contracts, maybe, right? And then go down the amplification chart, again, the emotions chart, and then again, the perceptions chart, and then again, the entities, see if there's dark energies involved with that. So that's how you would go about looking at this. So, and then getting into the DNA, which is what we're going to do here. So looking at timelines and then the DNA. So we'll address the physicality here. Altering DNA. Oh, and by the way, so going back here, I don't know why I got to get a drink here first. Okay, found my water. Okay, so I was going to say, by the way, there is a certain thing like a criminal gene, for example. So if somebody is, you know, a thief or a car thief, maybe, for example, like, why does he do that? Why does he steal cars all the time? Well, there can be a DNA program that, you know, for criminal activity, right? So that's something that you can clear, interestingly enough. And, but if that's the case for criminals, you can also transfer that and say, well, then is there also, you know, a gene or something in my DNA that is preventing me from being somebody better, like maybe for being a leader or for being, you know, a business leader or something like that. So, so you could use that also. And for love and relationships, the process of this DNA activation, it can improve your experience of love and connection in cases where the DNA program is, you know, an issue. So if you had a family history that includes, say, being impoverished, for example, that can go back many, many generations. And so if you were, you know, impoverished, then your only thing that you have in mind all day is to, you know, work the fields or do something to, you know, to try and, you know, get food or whatever it is. So that's all you had to look forward to. That's the only thing you could be doing, right? So having relationships with another person, yeah, it was required to be, you know, in a group to get the work done and so forth. But companionship, you know, love wasn't built on this type of a situation. So yes, you can have companionship and being together as a group, getting something done or accomplished, but it wasn't, the main focus was not to have love relationships and dating, and there was nothing like that, right? So you're at a very bottom level, you know, you do this to get something done, right? There's no soulmate activity going on there in the fields, right? So biology, yes, you know, that kind of thing. But you could feel that there's a program like that maybe in your cells, right? So survival type programming. So is there room really then for this companionship, relationship, divine connections and stuff? There's probably not. And if you're not in a relationship, or people who aren't, and you have a client perhaps that says that they want to, you know, find their mate, you know, dream mate or whatever, well, this is somewhere where you can turn to. So look at their DNA programs, and maybe they're just not supported yet in the higher levels of love and relationships. So you can actually go in and find DNA programs around that and clear it for them too. Also for wealth, abundance, you know, or they're just not able to get anywhere in their career, just always kind of stifled somewhere. So for these kind of challenges, we can affect change there as well. And also, this is very important. It's not to be, you know, going in here and just kind of playing around and, you know, loosely doing something here. It's very impactful, these shifts, on a person's health and how they're going to now play it out, right, in the future, right? So whatever we do is going to have an impact and a bearing on what's going to happen in their life after this. So you want to get their permission. And I asked their body permission too. And, you know, I do tell the person that I'm going into the DNA and, you know, letting them know that we're going to let go of some programs. But I actually just asked the body more, is this okay to do? You don't want to, you know, like take on someone's karma. You don't want to, take on, maybe they're here for incomplete, you know, karmic issues or something. And you don't want to bring that into your own life, into your own growth and so forth. So, so just getting permission and just kind of checking in, is this okay, right? Yeah. And so people do ask, is this okay to do without somebody else knowing about it? And yes, it is. And a parent can give approval, and that's fine, you know. But for spouses, generally, now like my spouse says, yeah, do whatever, that's fine. You know, I've already got like an umbrella, okay. You know, so that's fine. But otherwise, you know, get permission. If it's your close friend or family, it's best to just kind of let them know what you're doing, right? So this, here we go. So the impact of altering DNA. So this can mean the difference between health and vitality versus illness, suffering, and early death. So for other people, altering of their problematic DNA will allow them to embrace the life for which they have carefully studied and trained, but as yet have not been able to realize. So this is because up until now, their cellular bodies were programmed for a less than desired situation or result. So one example may be that, you know, being fat might not be really your own fault, might not be your diet and exercise plan. So you could wonder, why isn't it working? And you could test. Okay, so are like both sides of your family, are they programmed for weight gain? And maybe at a certain age too, right? So, or it could be like we were saying with that potato famine. Is there something in the DNA around famines and survival and, you know, having to little food? And that could be affecting people right now too, with all this hoarding thing, going to the stores, buying up all the pasta and spaghetti sauce and canned goods. And it's incredible that they buy up the canned stuff and the fresh stuff is, you know, sitting there. But you know, I suppose they figure it's going to keep longer on the shelf, so that's fine. But so as you can test if this is something in your DNA, you know, if the weight is there for a reason. And since both sides of the family were programmed with maybe poverty and you know, malnutrition, starvation, then the family members were programmed maybe to gain weight, so they wouldn't, you know, they'd have ability to survive maybe an illness. That could be too, if there was some, you know, fever issues, flus, whatever it is. So you could remove the recessive programming for weight gain around that. So that's what you're looking for. And then when your DNA changes, then the mindset upgrades, and then you can see the world differently. You can see the world without constraints, without the constraints that previously were limiting for you. And that's real exciting when those bounds come off. Okay, so here is the whole protocol. I just put it up here at the beginning, and the steps in altering recessive DNA. We're going to go through what to do with it here afterwards, but just knowing the steps. So I'll just go through these with you. Okay, so connecting with the divine, and then you connect with the person, their spirit. You can ask their higher spirit to, you know, be involved. Ask permission, of course, to heal. And then the identifying the core issue. So you can find out what that is by asking the person, you know, how you doing, what's going on. They'll usually tell you what their problem is, right? You can also maybe get some intuitive hits around that when they're talking. You can also muscle test and just say, I'm getting this, is this an issue? whatever it is, but look, identify the location then of that recessive DNA program to be removed. So, for example, if it's in the nerves, if it's anxiety, perhaps, then maybe it's their nervous system, maybe they're,
Marlene,
yes.
are you going to be giving us these sheets?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I can probably send you the steps. Let me do that. I will send you the steps right now so you have all of the steps in front of you.
It's much easier if we have notes to make notes on.
Okay. Yep, got it. Yep, this will be quick. I'll just copy from that document over to this. Save it. And do you want it in Word doc or do you want it PDF'd?
Word is always easy if we're going to pull them into something else.
Yeah, that's what I figured too. Okay, so I'm sending.
Can I print Word? I want something that I can print, so I've got something right now that I can use.
Yeah, it should. Yep. And reply all and attach DNA activation protocol. Okay. All right, so there it is, and okay, so that's to all. All right. Okay, good. There you go. So that's the protocol here. So going back then to number 5. So you're going to identify the location of the recessive DNA program. So
A question there. Do you have examples or a list of when you're saying you're identifying the location? Are there specific places we should be checking other than the nervous system, or is it predominantly in the nervous system? Like,
as far as whether it's in the nerves or not, it can be like, let's just say like anxiety. So that's kind of like a blanket thing. So anxiety now, it can be adrenals. So you're going to say, okay, so is there recessive DNA programs here causing the adrenals to be depleted? Yes, there are. Okay, so great. So it's in the adrenals. So this person is stressed out. That's all they come in with, right? So stressed out. All right, so then you're going to ask adrenals. Great. And then you can ask, so is there DNA in the nervous system? Yeah, there is. Okay, because you know that the nervous system is what's gets triggered by the adrenaline and all that stuff. So that's fine. And then it could be other areas. And it's not 100% necessary to know exactly where this DNA is, as long as you are saying what it's doing. So are there recessive DNA programs in the body regarding anxiety, stress, panic, and so forth? And you're getting yes. Okay, so how many? I'm getting that there's 3 programs. Okay, great. So, what we're going to be doing here is we are actually going to be in like the master cell of an area. So, for example, when we're doing the adrenals, and we'll get to that when we go into the adrenals, or, you know, organs and so forth and glands.
What's a typical number for how many? Is there a range or?
It's not usually that many. I mean, I guess an average would be 1 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty small. But if it's a program like poverty, I mean, it's a big one, right? I mean, it's important, but yeah, there's one program, it's poverty or whatever, right? Starvation. Yeah, so you can ask it in a general way. Is there a program around starvation and poverty?
And can you do a few at one time, like, because they're related? Like, for instance, with weight gain, I'm getting that there's a DNA program with weight gain holding loneliness, sort of deprivation and survival as a whole. Like, that's a lot of things, but those are the things that are coming through. So
Yes, you
can
can.
you do them kind of as an identity, like a full program together, or do you have to do them all separately?
You can muscle test that for each individual.
Okay.
I am getting yes, you can.
Yeah, I feel like they're all really connected for me anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my daughter, it's passed on.
Okay, sure. And if for some other person, if they are, if this is separate, what you said, maybe one of those items is separate for somebody, you know, then from all these other areas, then maybe that one is
Do
a
it
no
separate.
for them. You know?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so inform individuals that that you're going to be working in their recessive DNA, and let them tell you whether they're ready for it. If they just need more information, and maybe information is something that we can get from the Word doc or the charts or whatever from today. If they need more to go on, you can just give them a little education on the area that you're going to be doing. But if you go, yes, you got a yes, then go on to number 7. So this is an energetic process. So in your mind's eye, see the DNA strand extending out. Okay, so you've got that, you know, you've got this strand, right? And it's extending out. Okay, so if it's all kinked up or whatever, just see it kind of extending outwards. And look at it. Now you're going to see there's 46. Okay, you got 22 from your mother, 22 from your father, and then you've got your 2. So that's 46. So see 46 boxes, like little, you know, you can see them as little boxes or circles or whatever it is, that represent the chromosomes. Okay, so there would be 46 of them on this strand. You've got it all pulled out, this master strand, or the master cell, this DNA strand. And now you've got 46 boxes. Now, tell this recessive DNA to appear on this strand, appear as black spots or black, the boxes will light up black on the strand that are the recessive DNA or the faulty programming. So you're in, let's just say you're in the adrenals, you're in the DNA of the master cell of the adrenals, you're pulling out the strand and you're looking, are there any black boxes? Any of these 46 light up as black? Okay, I mean, you can count, hey, there's 3 here from the mother's side or whatever if you want to, but it's not necessary. So then, okay, so then when you see, if anything does light up as black or dark, then you're going to want to, you know, let that go. So what you're going to do is you can just blast off all the dust, all the density, the darkness. You can see like a pressure washer just blasting it off. You can see like a vacuum just sucking up the black spot. Whatever works for you, there could be something that comes up for you that you can see that it's real easy for you to visualize that. but we are blasting off all that darkness from each of the recessive DNA. So if there was 2 that lit up, those are the 2 you're going to, you know, suck out the blackness or blast it off of there, clean it up anyway, so it's bright and shiny again. And then when all of them have been let go on the DNA strand, then you can just, you know, amp it up, right? So activate the highest and healthiest DNA programs that exist in the human blueprint. So you're tapping now into the actual human blueprint. The divine human blueprint is perfect. It's the perfect, and I see it as not something that was created thousands and thousands or millions, whatever, of years ago that may be outdated. I don't see that, you know, with cobwebs on it. Oh, here's your blueprint. We're gonna, you know, match it to that. No, I see the most active and current version set straight from God for the highest and best for this person. So wherever they happen to be in their expansion of the of their frequency, right? So so their DNA may have already started transforming. Yeah, because a lot of ours is transforming now. And so we're going from those 2 strands, you know, we're going up to 12 strands, and we're going actually into 13. So the 13 would be that, actually they call it the God spark, the one that connects. Okay, so many people are somewhere on that, you know, that progression where we don't want to just put them back into 2 strands. That's not our decision. That's nothing that we need to be involved in or know about where they are. I mean, you could maybe read it if you want to, but it doesn't really make a difference. What you're doing is taking out what doesn't belong, and then bringing in the highest and healthiest DNA program that exists right now in the human blueprint. So this is where, yeah, so this is your clearing with clear intention that you're going to be able to change and shift the quantum field for the better. So you're seeing it happening and you're doing the amping at the same time. So you're getting rid of the black spots, and then now you're bringing in the healthy, highest version of the human blueprint, the DNA. And I don't even really want to call it programs, because I'm still not really turned on with that word programs, but I just call it the healthiest and highest version of DNA from source for this individual right now. So you may come up with a different way to say that, but essentially that's what I feel is best for the person, because I don't know what's best for the person, right? And none of us do. We don't know where they are in their progression. So then you want to pulse this wave, a golden energy, okay, like a radio wave through the DNA strand to seal up the newly established DNA. And here's where it's more like you're kind of working that whole strand with your hand here. So that's kind of like that shooting dice movement too. So you're on that whole strand that's pulled out here. So you can kind of almost imagine the that length and how it acts. So you're going to pulse this golden wave now to seal it up. So the newly established DNA, what you just did, the changes that you made, letting go of the darkness of the recessive faulty DNA and bringing in that beautiful highest and best version for the person. Now you're going to seal this up. So that's where you're going to do this beautiful pulsing golden energy going through that whole strand now, making it lighter and brighter, and just bringing it into perfection. And then you're going to mirror the master cell So you're in the master cell of the adrenals, for example, and there's DNA in every cell really, but the master cell is where we're going to be working in for organs and glands. So you're in this master cell, and now you just perfected that one DNA strand. That one beautiful DNA strand is now perfect inside the master cell. So you're going to take that, I call it beauty, love, and perfection of the master cell, and you're going to mirror that beauty, love, and perfection to all the surrounding cells now in the adrenals. So all the cells in the adrenals now they're going to mirror that perfection. So this master cell says here's is like the leader. It teaches the other cells how to function, how to be healthy. So, so you're activating the blueprint, the human blueprint, as you're doing this. And the process then is you're activating the perfection of humanity, really. So the master cell then will be in its highest expression. It's able to teach all the other cells how to be healthy through this mirroring process. So it's mirroring and matching now. All the cells are mirroring and matching the perfection of this master cell that we just perfected. So you can see this continuing now to, you can even see sending gold energy into all the cells. At the same time, it's taking this upgrade now from the DNA. And you can amplify the process by filling the area with gold God light. Continuing amplifying the process till all the cells are able to receive the new program. So then you just test how many cells now have just taken the upgrade, 10%, 20%, 30, whatever it is, get to 100. And find out if all the cells then have taken the new program. Then you want to test. Okay, I just said that a good result is 70% or more. I tend to get it up to 100. I mean, yeah, you can stop at 70, I suppose, if there's time, and then maybe just intend that it's going to continue. Let's just continue this energy. The cells are matching. I'm going to come back and check later. And you will, when you come back later to check, you will find that they've continued. So that would be something you can do as well. And then the final steps here then would be, you can include a family bubble DNA clearing. And the DNA bubble, you want to identify it. You just look for information that's streaming towards you. So if you're healing yourself, right? So, or the individual who's being healed. And this is information from the family that is no longer serving. It doesn't serve, it doesn't have a purpose, undesirable program. And it's streaming towards you if you wanted to look at it that way so that you can see it, like come forward. I want to, let's see the family bubble, DNA bubble. And light up now in this bubble any of the undesirable programs, light them up. You can see them as black spots are lit up in this bubble. There's usually one, maybe two in there, sometimes none, but there's usually like one. And then you can see yourself blasting off with the pressure washer, all of the black spots in the bubble, just cleaning it up, or you can vacuum them out or whatever works for you. And then amping it and then visualizing, then sending this golden pulse through the stream again to seal up the healing. So in this family bubble, you're seeing it as a stream, and you're sending that golden pulse through there to seal up the healing that you just did to the family bubble. So now you could stop here, but if we did, then the person could revert back to what you just did. So we add a reset program here. So that prevents the body and the program from resetting itself after, say, a night's sleep, for example. They wake up, boom, they just reverted back to the old, recessive program. So you want to set this as the waking program. So upon awaking, the spirit returns after the body has slept. So the body will now be reset to maintain the healthy new DNA program and will not revert to the old program. So that's what you're asking it to do. And so you could just, you could say, you know, like we just said, upon awakening, this is the new and active, the current, I say current and active DNA. I don't really call it program. Again, I don't like to use the word program for the new stuff. I don't want to be programmed, but we are. I mean, DNA is a program exactly. So, but I don't want to label it, just in case there's something bigger or better for the person. I want to be that. I don't want to have to just be stuck in something, you know, label, right? So upon awakening, this is the current and active DNA sent from God or sent from source as, you know, the highest and best for Nancy or whoever you're working with. So you can see that happening and intend that the reset has taken place. So that's the procedure. And really, we're meant to have this knowledge. It's been hidden from us. It requires that you adopt a love wisdom attitude. So this attitude towards creation in the quantum field provides space for people to make shifts and changes within their DNA. So so just know then that what you did is incredibly powerful. Don't take it lightly. You know, just know that this is a important step, right? And you don't want to leave anything out. You don't want to leave the reset out of here. Okay, so quantum amping or pumping, whatever you want to call it. So just FYI about that, there's two types of physics. There's Newtonian and quantum. Newtonian is where the theory of relativity, you know, from here to there, it's what you see, that's it, right? But with quantum, we've defined it at the same time. Everything is part of a field, and we're all made of particles that are vibrating. So everything's moving, everything's vibrating, and based on how they're vibrating, you get whatever the result is. So if it's vibrating at a slower pace, that's why you're going to get a human or a person or a thing, a desk or whatever. But if it's vibrating really quick, then that's going to be something maybe that you can't see, right? But it's there, right? So based on how the particles are vibrating, that's what you get. So with the hand movements that we do, we're able to rearrange the particles. So that's the explanation you can give people, that we're rearranging particles to create a desirable result, you know, in whatever it happens to be. So we can't just rearrange the particles by thinking, hey, rearrange the particles. Sometimes you can, but sometimes affirmations will get you there, but usually not. It's because people aren't in a high enough vibration. So, you know, teaching it to you at this point, you have a higher vibration at, you know, level 2 that you would have had just starting out maybe in level 1, or maybe you already did when you started. But sometimes here you can rearrange the particles just by intending them to, without having to do the movements and so forth. So that's where you can get to, you know, but using them now is going to quicken the process, speed things up. It's proven it works, you know, so you'll get a result, and so forth. So continue to use them. If after a while you find that things are working for you just by intending it without using it, then great. But test to make sure, you know, that you're still getting the same result or better, right? So, but the pump allows for people who aren't always in a high vibration to be able to make these transformations for themselves. So And then it says here about singing. Singing is our toning. So it's like resembling God. And the voice has a power, you know, using it in an uplifting way. And that you will can make your pumping or whatever go faster because it can raise the vibration higher. So the pumping, you know, you can be doing that. You can be singing, you can be chanting, or what they call toning. And that will actually speed things up. And then just having your crystals with you, that'll speed things up. So ask what something is vibratorily set at. You can do that. And lyrics and music can be set at the vibration of love. So you have to use your mind and then do the amping and the singing, chanting, whatever works for you. So you can try different things. Sometimes I'm clearing somebody and I just automatically hum or something just starts coming out. So it was there apparently for some kind of, something wanted to come out, something wanted to be resolved, right? So by me toning it, it's bringing it up, it's bringing it out. So just practice on that, and you can practice on people and see the results. Maybe some family at the beginning until you're more comfortable with that. Some people actually just think, well, she's just humming, you know, she's happy. Okay. No one's really resisted it or, you know, told me not to. So I'm gonna shut the door here. Okay, so let's look at the activation. So this is the shooting dice movement for DNA activation. And then you can imagine that you're sliding across that DNA strand, the 46 strands lined up there. So it's the hand open, palm up, and then you just kind of shake it across the front of the chest, really, you know, just kind of vision it like shaking it across from right to left. And the only other time you use it is for the timeline problems, which we just did. So same thing, right to left. And so you're going across the strand, the 46 strands, clearing off anything there that's your intention to clear. Yeah. And then kinesiology, I've just put this in here. You don't have to read from your head. You can watch what's going on and read with your hands when things, you know, are complete and so forth. And then that is the same, you know, the tool to transform your DNA. And again, we said that 97% of the DNA is good. It's working for you, doing what it should. You're looking good, feeling fine. Everything's great. And you own all your DNA. So the quantum movements then will amp up and clear DNA. So you don't have to do the sliding thing, but it's very powerful and very effective. I mean, you can just do this or whatever, but this is more powerful. The slide is there to move the DNA. Okay, it just slides past. It kind of just, we call it a swirl because it just kind of has that feel, that movement to it. It moves DNA. So just practice it, learn it. It can take a while to be a master at it, if you know, but just give yourself time to do it. And if you feel a heaviness around that that hand movement, that could be maybe your aura needs to brighten up a little bit. So wherever you're at, right here in your in your field, and then just clear the aura there. And then you want to clear the things that may be interfering with accurate muscle testing. So I don't know, did everybody get that muscle testing clearing chart before? If not, I'll send it again, but there's the muscle testing clearing.
I didn't get it.
Okay, all right, so I'll send that to everybody too. Yeah, things to clear to get accurate muscle testing. to own your muscles, to own your hands,
Mm.
to own the information. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have to use a pendulum a lot
Oh, okay.
because my hands are, I'm not fully trusting.
Oh, okay. So this is maybe going to be useful for you to clear the
Yeah.
things there. Yeah. There's quite a list. So could definitely be something on there that.
There's something, yeah, there's definitely something blocking me from reading just with my hands. So I have to use the pendulum, and it's really crystal clear. And I'm practicing the biofeedback when I watch the pendulum feeling in my hand.
Mhm.
But there's definitely a block. So that would be helpful.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So then you can clear the different things that interfere with accurate muscle testing. And with the DNA attunement process, we're going to identify problems in the DNA, and there can be any kind of issue because the information is gathered from the family and it's passed on. So there could be a lot of health problems there in the DNA. It's a part of every physical, problem I work on. And it doesn't have to be physical, obviously. Like if you're working with a weight loss problem, absolutely, it could be anything in here. So clear your muscle testing abilities, being able to own your hands, your muscles, your truth, getting accurate information 100% of the time. That's actually the clearing that you write out, and you can chart this yourself actually if you just want to, being able to use your own hands, your muscles, your truth, getting accurate information 100% of the time. And it's all areas of the blueprint really that's affected. Interfering programs could be bloodline, Lucifer stops soul contracts, demonic curses, evil spirit curses, satanic curses, black magic curses, emotions, DNA resets.
Where are you getting this information?
I'm going to send you, it's on the chart. It's on the muscle clearing chart. I'll send that to you.
Oh, I
You
see.
can have it, but there's a lot of different things here to clear for, and a lot of interfering anchors and spiritual interferences as well. As you might imagine, there could be, dark energies not wanting you to get correct information, being able to own your own body and your own results. So you must also clear your ability to own your body, your body's information. So there to own your body. So you can check for blocks. How many blocks are there do I have of owning my body? And these blocks are in perception, essentially. So you can get a read. How many blocks are there in owning my body? The ability to own my body. And some people, they're up in the thousands, hundreds of thousands. It can be, if they've never done any work at all. I mean, you or me or whoever has been doing muscle testing for a long time, maybe we have less, I don't really have, I might have 3 now. But out of thousands is what we were, a lot of people, or hundreds, some people, maybe there's 300 or whatever, or 3,000, right? So, or hundreds of thousands. I've seen it all. So then you clear those. You can clear that for the ability to own your body. I'm going to highlight this and make sure you get that information too.
Marlene, can I just ask a question with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a few clients who really suffer from eating disorders.
Yeah.
And I think that, owning their own bodies is a big issue, right? Mm-hmm. So could I help, would a starting point be to count how many blocks there are, clear them with the, the quantum pump thing, and then go into all the other bits?
Yeah, absolutely. This is an important part, and sometimes it gets missed.
Mm-hmm.
How does this relate to body ownership?
Well, it's mostly on the muscle testing.
No, but like, is this like the clearing the body's ability to own its body information versus the percentage of body ownership? Are they similar or? Like, because when we did level 1, we always at the end of our initial clearing, we assess the body ownership, the percentage of body ownership.
So yeah, so to own your body is to own the information that you're getting, right? So
So they're the same, really?
yeah, essentially it is. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. To own to own that, to be in charge of it, to
Be able to read it and
to believe that you actually do own your body, you know, and its information.
okay,
Yep.
so it's body ownership and information. That's,
Yeah. You could even say it that way, both.
yeah, okay.
Yep, and owning the muscles, owning your ability to accurately read the body. Yeah. So so this is just the regular hand movement because we're not into clearing the DNA here. You're just doing clearing that. So all right. So the DNA is in all cells. You have 2 authentic God DNA strands, and they are perfected strands. Genetic programming may have created altered health, or if you have a, say, for an example, diabetic program or cancer in your family, then look at what is in the family and clear that. So it's in your DNA, and it's a DNA program. All right, so yeah, so then if the DNA then in the family is altered, then the family DNA information, it's altered and lowered vibrationally, and that adds to genetic anomalies. So so birth defects maybe is that other people in the family have had, or something like that. You know, skin problems. Everybody seems to have a skin issue in the family or something, diabetes or cancer or whatever, a weakness in an area, whatever that happens to be. So you can find that weakness. The person's probably going to tell you what their problem is, and that's going to be, obviously a weakness. So it is a DNA program. Yep. So we can take it out, and so that's what you're looking for there.
Marlene, it says on that slide, if you just go back one, it says the DNA is in stem cells, comma, it's in all cells.
Yeah.
That the stem cells in all cells? Or?
Yeah, so meaning that the DNA is in, like we were just talking about the master cell, right? So the master cell is the one that we want to get perfect and whatever. And then we mirror that perfection to all the cells in the adrenals, for an example. So,
are the stem cells in the master cell?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then,
it's called a master stem cell is what it's called.
okay, and then mirror to all cells.
Yep, and then DNA it's in every cell.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but working through the master stem cells.
That's the one that we want to get perfect.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then let all the other cells take the upgrade from that one. It's the
Thanks.
master. It's like the professor, the teacher, or whatever. It's, it knows all the correct information. So it's going to give it all to the other cells
Okay.
once you've corrected it. Yeah. Okay, so a strand of DNA is in every single cell of your body. And so the 22 strands from mother, 22 from father's side, and that's who's contributing the information about who you are, how your body works, how you respond to things, health, wealth, relationships. So there's a lot of different things that are in there. So we can also amp up the DNA strands, so so that they start acting and behaving more like God strands. All right, so we'll get more into that in just a little bit when we go into God DNA, but just know that we're going to be able to do that. And then there's DNA from others. So if a person has a blood transfusion or an organ or tissue transplant, or if they're currently pregnant, they may have DNA from someone else in their body, or they definitely do. And now if it's just being pregnant, then when you give birth, you don't keep the baby's DNA, you don't have the partner's DNA, none of that. You know, so that's no longer, but you would, if you had a transplant or organ donation, transfusion, I mean, then yes, you do have someone else's DNA in your body. So you're going to want to clear that. And it is part of you. It's definitely a part of you, and you're not able just to, you know, just overlook it. You have things maybe going on that are causing issues that you didn't really, you know about. And from somebody else that maybe you don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's what it is. So you have to address it. And really the thing is that this is, it should be looked at as a happy thing. This has given you life. This has given you some type of replenishment of some way. So, you know, it's a part of you, and you want to be able to go ahead and clear that as well. So, and you can, you definitely can. And you don't have to separate it. I'm clearing my DNA, now I'm clearing others' DNA. You don't, but when we say clear DNA, we're looking at your DNA plus any other DNA. And you can ask, is there other DNA in my body? And get a yes or a no. And you can ask that of other people's too. So just so you know, that's why we say clear DNA, DNA of others, and resets. That's the protocol. Clear DNA, DNA of others, resets. Okay, so DNA, yeah, you can probably look this up online and get get this scientific information, but it's the main role of DNA molecules is long-term storage of information. It's compared to a set of blueprints or a recipe. Contains the instructions needed to construct other components of cells. And the DNA segments carry genetic information that's called genes. And your special code. Okay, so chemically DNA is a long polymer of simple units called nucleotides. And with a backbone made of sugars and phosphate groups joined by ester bonds, they say. Okay, so attached to each sugar is one of 4 types of molecules called bases. And it is the sequence of these 4 bases along the backbone that encode the information. And that information is read using the genetic code, which specifies the sequence and the amino acids within proteins. So that's great. But here is what I'm, muscle test this, see what you get. But a DNA is liquid. It's not taught this way. It wasn't taught to me this way either. However, I'm hearing that DNA is liquid. And if that's the case, that's great. It just makes it easier to manipulate. So, very interesting. The code is read by copying stretches of DNA into the related nucleic acid RNA called transcription. And within cells, DNA is organized into structures called chromosomes. And these are duplicated before cells divide in a process called DNA replication. And organisms store their DNA inside the cell nucleus. So it's found in the cell, in the nucleus. And within chromosomes, chromatin proteins such as histones compact and organize DNA. These compact structures guide the interactions between DNA and other proteins, helping control which part of the DNA are transcribed. So again, we can pull out this strand, imagine it to be darkened boxes or darkened parts on the strand, and then we can observe and just eliminate the dark spots, the dark parts, right? So we're looking at being the owner of this whole process. So if it's us that we're working in, we own this process. I own this DNA. This is my DNA to correct and to perfect. Yeah. But yeah, liquid. So see what you guys get with that. DNA activation works because DNA exists in your human blueprint. So it's in your spiritual body, it's in essence, it's in your physical body, it's in, you know, matter, and in your energetic body. It's part of the quantum field. It's made up of particles vibrating. And using the quantum, you know, going across like this, then we can arrange or remove genetic material that's not supporting our best life. The first thing is you remove programs interfering with your ability to control, own, and transform your DNA. So that would be a regular clearing. And I've got that up here coming, and we're going to do this. Okay, so here's the chart. So right permission and ability to own and alter faulty DNA programs, letting go of domination, suppression, and control. So let's go ahead right now and let's do this. We're just amping it, you know, right now to clear for DNA ownership. And then we can go in to remove the DNA programs after that, but you want to have this clear first. A lot of different things in here. A lot of emotions. This could take about 6 to 7 minutes is what I'm getting for everybody to get this cleared. I'm just going to leave this up here while I talk a little bit about other things that we can look for. So we can actually remove DNA programs for low function of something. So like we were saying before, the adrenals, for low function of the adrenals. So using that as an example again, identify the problem program using muscle testing. You can eliminate, you know, whatever, but it's obviously it's adrenals. And you could say low function of my adrenal glands. And then intend to clear and do that shooting dice hand movement. Looking and seeing the spots, of course. Clearing the spots, using that hand movement, sliding through the DNA. And then test to see if you've completed it. And then, you know, has it been removed? Has the dark spots gone? Are you getting any more recessive DNA programs, any faulty programs? No. Okay, good. So that has completed. And then you're going to mirror that. And you can just intend that you're mirroring it and then just, you know, amp it up for, you know, about a minute. It'll work. And you can do one of the next slides here, and I'll get to it here in a second. I'm just going to keep this up another few minutes. But a DNA activity for vitality. All right, so this could be a package that you do for people. It could be de-stressing for sure, and bringing back people's energy and vitality. So this could be a whole package all in itself. A really good package. If somebody had this would be absolutely wonderful. So you're going to look at DNA issues or programs interfering with vitality or having a stress-free, energetic, you know, vitality, healthy, vibrant life. So looking for programs there. You can get that in general if you want to get that whole, okay, how many in general, or you can say, okay, so the components here would be, so a person needs to have great sleep. So great, is there DNA issues then around and interfering with this person getting great sleep? Yes, there are. Okay, so wonderful. So you could say, well, is it in their adrenals? Is it in their pineal? And you could get yes and yes. Is it somewhere else too? Maybe in their energy, thyroid. Okay, so you can identify adrenals, pineal, energy, and thyroid, that you're probably getting some faulty DNA in those areas, and that's interfering with having 100% great sleep. There may be more, and just say, are there more areas that the DNA is interfering with sleep? Yes. How many? One. Okay, well, let's just get them all in there. Okay, so then you can just go through and then seeing the dark spots, letting those dark spots go, doing this, the shooting dice thing, right to left. And that's healing up the DNA strand really after you've removed the darkness. Sending beautiful God energy, healing energy in there. And then seeing, have I removed it? Great. Now I want to mirror this beauty, love, and perfection to all cells so that it can have the highest and best from the human blueprint. And do that whole procedure. So, then from there to get to vitality, then you might want to actually work in the glands themselves. So then we'll do the regeneration of the adrenals. We'll do the regeneration of the pineal gland. We can do the thyroid gland, and then we can do their energy centers, right? So that would be a great package right there for vitality. So let's see where we're all at now with this. About 60%. Okay. So, so if you're in the adrenals, for example, right today, we're not going to be working in the glands themselves. We will be here this weekend. But we're working with how the program is running in your DNA. So that we can do right now. So is your DNA programming your adrenals to run at 100%? Or is your DNA programming, your adrenals to run at something less? And that you can just muscle test and find out. Is your DNA programming your adrenals to run at 100%? Yes or no? If you're getting no, okay, so is it being programmed to run at 10% or better? Yes. 20, yes. 30, yes. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever it happens to be at this point, find out. Interesting to see what that might happen to be. And then that's where you were going to go into the DNA. You can go into the master cell of the adrenals and do what we were just saying for the protocol there. And remove the black spots, get them up, match the perfection of the human blueprint. And then you can go into, okay, so that's the adrenals. Now, is your DNA programming your pineal gland to run at 100%? Because you need both the pineal and the adrenals for great sleep, right? So find out what your pineal gland is set at. And if it's not at 100%, again, then find out, well, how many faulty programs are there for the pineal gland functioning at a less than 100%? 1, 2, whatever it happens to be. Get those black spots off. Do the shooting dice. Remove them. See that beautiful strand. Sending beautiful gold healing energy through that strand. perfecting it, and then mirroring it to all the other cells. So if you have adrenals, adrenal fatigue, for example, there are programs running in your DNA that's telling the adrenals not to improve. So this is big for anybody who has adrenal problems, no energy, lack of energy, can't sleep, anxious, you know, the cortisol is always on, you know, stressed out, those kind of things. So if you do, if those are symptoms that you're having, you can pretty much know for sure that there's programs in the DNA telling the adrenals not to improve. So example then too with the thyroid, you know, you can do the same thing. And the immune system, you can ask, you know, the whole immune system as a whole, or you could just ask about the thymus. You know, the thymus is the gland that controls the immune, so you could just work with thymus and do each part separately, like bone marrow, white blood cells, lymph system, lymph nodes, that kind of stuff. And so you can start with this. This might be a good starting place, is to do a DNA activation for vitality. And then you can do it for yourself first and get everything in the DNA, all the faulty programming out for anything that's interfering with your healthy, vitality, vibrant life. And work on the DNA for that. And there's a chart here too. It'll come up here in a minute, so you can come back to it and look at the elements I just talked about. So, do any of you have a problem with vitality in your DNA? I get yes. About 75% maybe have some type of a problem there with vitality in their DNA. So yeah, this could apply to just about all of us. Yeah, so let's check here on the chart where we're at. So we're actually clearing and rearranging the particles like we were mentioning with our hand. And our hand is in the pleasure field. So the, you know, this amping action, just amping it up, right? It allows everyone to go up to a higher vibration, and then chanting or singing or toning helps speed it up. So you get into higher frequency or vibration. So, you know, while running your.
Are we pumping right now for the right permission ability to own?
Yes, you are. Yep. Yep. We want to clear it. We want to get that complete. Yep. Because then you're going to want to do the next.
The vitality.
Yeah. So we want to be sure everybody's there. Yep. Yep. So you're working with that one strand in the DNA in the master cell. And then when that one is perfect, matching the divine human blueprint, then we're going to inform all the other DNA strands in the body to go along with that. Yes, all the other cells in that organ, if we're working in that organ, but if we're just working with, are there, you know, is there a DNA program that's preventing me from attracting wealth? Well, that's not really in your adrenals, right? That's not really in a body part, yeah? But it is in your DNA. So you're going to want to perfect the DNA, you know, pull out the strand. Okay, that's the programs are on, the faulty programs are on. Clear off the faulty programs for that. And then you're going to match that perfection now to all the other DNA strands in the body. So you're lighting up the cell once the strand has been perfected. So you remove the faulty program there. So the problem energy will just go away. So, and then you just mirror that, right? So you mirror that cell and the new DNA information to all of the other cells, because that's where all the other DNA strands are in the body. So whatever cells, well, they probably all have the same issue in it. It's probably in your DNA, regardless of what cell it's in, if there's, you know, a wealth or abundance issue. So you're mirroring that then to all the other cells, all the other DNA strands in the cell.
Marlene, how much would you say, like, compared to, for instance, if you're looking at wealth and interferences to wealth, wealth blueprints, I guess, you've got so many things working, like you've got your entities and your amplifications and your emotions and all those things. What percentage would you say the DNA has the biggest impact on most of these things? Or is it, like, how does it relate to the other things like entities or amplifications?
This is big, because without this, you're not gonna, it's hard to override your code with just willpower. It's
right. So maybe if you're doing some of the other things, but if it's embedding into the DNA and you're not removing the DNA, then it'll just repeat or come back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yes, two, you're going to look at perception, because you can just get in your own way, right? With not having money.
If we clear the perception, but we haven't worked with the DNA, it would be more important to address the DNA than the perception.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a big chunk. This probably is the main chunk, like you're asking. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I had been told, that the biggest piece of the quantum healing is the DNA activation.
Oh, okay.
So, somewhere along there.
Yeah. Yeah. And once this is cleared, it's permanent. So this is not, yeah, it's not going to like come back if we don't do it every week or month or whatever.
I have a question around that. So I guess I don't quite understand where the bad programming comes from enough to know that it really can't come back or be redone at some, like a curse. You can clear all your curses. Someone just thinks a bad thought and it puts a curse on you, but is this?
In the blueprint. It was altered in the blueprint. So bad forces actually went into the human blueprint and manipulated it.
Oh, okay. So it's not like they're doing it now at this point in time. It was done in the past.
Exactly. And the people or the beings, whoever were involved with creating the human blueprint to begin with, they are still protecting our blueprint, you know.
Okay.
So there's people who really, they can go into the blueprint and make changes. It's kind of an original group who kind of went in there and designed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
So,
I know who you're talking about. Okay, that clarifies it.
yeah. Yep. Yeah. So then mirroring it to all the other cells where the DNA strands are in each of those cells, and then it'll just start a shift. Okay. And you can maybe even feel it. Sometimes people feel a shifting in their body as their body shifts up and their DNA improves. And then these two can be the ascension symptoms as well that people are getting while their DNA is transforming. Those are similar symptoms like headaches or dizziness, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so people's DNA is transforming right now. And so there's a lot of confusion about what's going on. And And if you're going to go to a doctor about, oh, am I dizzy, then you're going to go see probably a ear, nose, and throat, you know. And you're going to go to one specialist after the next to, you know, to weed out whatever is or isn't the problem for you. And people aren't really getting too far in solving their issues that way. But they don't know. It's just an unknown to a lot of mainstream conventional medical. So where are we now with the clearing? What do you test for yourself as complete? Anybody want to say I'm 100 or where you're at?
I've got
I've
100.
got a 92 for me.
Okay.
Not quite there.
Okay, so let's just intend that you're continuing on, Dia, and whoever else might not be at 100. And I'm gonna move the slides to move on, but this was important to get this done.
So is that permanent?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yeah, you cleared this stuff. You now own your own DNA programs, or you know,
Ability to control them.
alter, and you're able to control or alter it. Yep. Yeah, so now removing this is what we said: identify the problem, intend to clear it. We already went over that. Testing using kinesiology, and then mirroring it. And then this is the one that I was saying for vitality. So this could be a package or program that you do for people around vitality or the stress. Maybe all the stress people are under, fear, panic of the, you know, whatever, the unknown, overwhelmed, that kind of stuff, right? You can name it, all of these different keywords that people are expressing how they're feeling right now, because this will do it for sure. People's adrenals are stressed, then the cortisol continues to pump, and it doesn't shut off. And that's the adrenaline, and that's causing the panic and, you know, all kinds of different things not healthy for the body. So when you're in the this parasympathetic nervous system, and you're stressed out, it does no longer shut off. You don't go into the sympathetic nervous system anymore. You're just on, completely on all the time. And that's going to stress the adrenals more so than they already were if before this happens, right? So this is a heyday for entity attachments. Total heyday, man. They are just taking advantage, going in, taking over, you know, setting up household in your in people's energy because of all this stuff, right? So if the adrenals are continually on, now they're going down, down, down. Now you're at 30% function. Now you're 28, you know, going lower. Your frequency of vibration of the body is going down. It's no longer up there where you were healthy, experiencing vibrancy. No, it's going down. Your frequency is lowering. And now you're in resonance with this low vibe stuff, right? And you may be thinking low vibe emotions. You may be having, you know, this really, I can't stand this anymore. This sucks, whatever. I'm frustrated. Okay. I'm like mad at whoever, whatever. So all of these things are going to just continually drag the person down, drag them down, drag them down. Entities move in, take their life force down, you know, and it's just from there, the adrenals are going to go further down, thyroid's going to go down, pineal, you know,
on this slide, Marlene, with respect to all those adrenals, pineal, and when it says do these in this order, are you then doing the DNA activation for each one? Like
yes.
You find the dark spot, you remove it, then you
yes.
mirror the master cell that's clear and that, and
yes.
reset it?
Yep, for each one of these items, yes. Each line item, you're going to do that same thing. So is there faulty DNA programs right now affecting my ability to have 100% great sleep? Yes. How many? 2 programs. Okay, great. So you've got 2 programs. You're going to go through that whole process. Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Same thing with adrenals, pineal, anything interfering with their energy, you know. Yep. And yeah, so that's where is your DNA programming your glands. Yeah, so that's to run at 100% or not, right? So muscle testing abilities. Oh, I don't think that's the right title. I'm gonna call it light of cell. Here, we're working with the light of cell. Once that strand has been shifted, we're remove the faulty programming so that it would disappear the problem energy. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do. And then I'm in charge. This is a great opportunity to make things better. We came in with a lot of negative programming, and it's exciting to get the freedom to feel like I'm in charge of myself. And so we're clearing that so you can be in charge of your DNA. You have the kind of power to make that choice and then clear yourself and live in freedom. Absolutely, very exciting that we are able to do that. Obviously it's something that most people aren't doing. They don't know that this exists. So we're really privileged to have this information, to know how to use it, but being responsible with it. So, you know, make sure you just accurately go through the steps and muscle test each one to be sure that you are complete with it before going into the next. And then, you know, soon you'll have it down, you know, you'll have the pattern down, you'll know what to do and what to check for, but being very vigilant at the beginning here of making sure that you're complete with that, we're done, okay, good. And then just asking, is this okay? Is the body okay with this? Yes, okay. All right, you're always wanting to make sure that you're not out of bounds with the other person you're working on.
Can you speak to your own personal experience when you first activated your ability to work with the DNA and what you experienced in your own body? Or did you notice, or like, did you notice differences with outcomes with your clients or with yourself? Like, was it a profound change you experienced? Or?
Yeah, well, it depends on the person's ability to feel. So some people may not be able to feel a lot, but yes, to me it was you know, yeah, of course, my ability to have my adrenals stay at 100%, that's big, because some people, you know, you get them up to 100, but they can go down maybe to 90 or 95, whatever, after a while because of things, what other things can jump in. So you maybe don't even know that difference between 90 and 100, so that you really can't feel that. But the things that were profound for me were maybe not even just the physical so much as they were in just realizations like, wow, I don't think that way anymore. Wow, I don't lower into that space there anymore. That space just doesn't exist for me anymore. And it's just realizations that I think are the biggest thing for me, that I just don't operate like that, like how I used to. And they're big things. Like, for me, everything's kind of around my business, because I've been in business for, you know, over 10 years. And so for me, it is a reflection of how my business is doing to what I'm doing, right? So if the business is doing good, I'm doing good. The business is not doing good, I must not be doing something right, right? So something's off. Owning a business is like, you know, a barometer of, it's like personal development.
Yeah, like, reflection or demonstration, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I would say for myself, I notice it the most.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you are in charge. Yep, great opportunity for us right now, and great opportunity because other people aren't doing this. As a matter of fact, I am going to be doing this on a show, on Iram's show in June on DNA. And so, yes, I'm going to be doing clearing on DNA, but it's going to be around certain things like the DNA of your relationship. So the DNA, I haven't decided what I want to focus on yet, but it's going to be around a subject. So, you know, resetting your secret code for, you know, successful relationships or whatever it happens to be, you know. So that could be a program you could do too if you want to kind of think how this can be, besides the one that we just mentioned for vitality. Or you could do things like diabetes, you know, just maybe specialize in a certain area of health for somebody in particular. So you would go into the DNA, remove the diabetes gene. You can go into their timelines, see if there's areas there that are affecting, you know, why they're having diabetes in this lifetime, clear there. Then you can go into their energy field and, you know, anything in there that's affecting their ability to, you know, for sugar and, you know, that whole thing, glucose or whatever. And then you go into the pancreas, insulin, hormones, you know, from there, which we're going to be doing day 3. So that could be, you know, a whole program just around that one thing. So yeah, that would be huge. One thing that's huge, you know, diabetes. Look at the number of people who have that. It's incredible. You know, I mean, just that key word, diabetes. How many people are looking for not even the cure, but just treatments, successful treatments or alternative treatments for blood sugar? You know, that's a key word right there. Blood sugar or insulin resistance. Another key word. People are looking for these on the computer all the time, right? And so, so you could have a page on a website, for example, and have those in the meta tags as your keywords to come up for, and be found for that and be known for that. So you could be thinking about around an area that you specialize in and that you want to start out with. Because if you're just a generalist all around, I do everything, then people don't recognize that they need you. Okay, so, but if you say that you work with diabetes, oh, okay, my aunt needs you. My, you know, my friend's dad needs you, right? So they start all of a sudden going to who does need that, right? But if you say, oh, I'm an energy, oh, isn't that nice, right? Well, what does that mean? Nothing. Unless they know something about it, you know, but being, giving them the opportunity to identify themselves as needing you by having a niche is where you're going to want to focus. And where it just happens to be the most, and that's why I focus with the endocrine system, ladies in midlife and the hormones and stuff like that. So people relate to that, right? So, well, where's the hormones come from? Oh, the glands. Okay. So, and what I do in the glands, maybe it's none of their business, right? Maybe they don't know I'm doing their timeline. Maybe they don't care that I'm doing their DNA, you know, or whatever. That's the how. So it's not like you need to know. The people really don't need to know the how, just as long as they're getting the result of, you know, what we talked about. So, yeah, so I'm finding that that's the one way to go. But yes, you're in charge. You are the charge. And that's the cool thing is we are now that charge, that snap, that charge. Oh, pain. Okay, so you can test to see if pain is programmed into your DNA. Yep. Let's see. if I have a slide on that. Oh, okay. Yeah, here. So, yeah, test to see if pain is programmed in your DNA. It could, if it were, you know, it could be, right? So it could be programmed there. Get a yes or no. Is pain programmed into my DNA? No. Maybe I cleared it already. I don't know, but you can test for yourself. It's interesting. Okay, I just tested for someone else. I'm getting yes. And then you could test if it was physical pain or emotional pain. Yeah. Because that could, yes, definitely would be different. Yeah. And you can treat them separately. So we live in an era where dominating, controlling information from Western medicine is that something is a fact. But you can be in charge. You can own your DNA. You can own your body. You can use your regenerative qualities. We can regenerate our bodies, and this is where we're going to be going into tomorrow with regenerating the organs in our bodies. And this is definitely how we are in charge of doing that, owning our body, being in charge. You know, you get to be more of yourself. You get to be who you were really meant to be, you know, who we deserve to be. This is, you know, we weren't put here just to, you know, live a fast life and die. I mean, just seems kind of like a waste. By the time you start getting into your rhythm, right? I just found myself, I'm 60 years old and I just got it finally, right? And now all of a sudden all of your glands start giving out and you're done for. It just doesn't seem fair, you know? It really doesn't. And it's not funny because but it's happening, you know, to many people. And so this is the powerful thing, that you can actually be excited to have a tool like this. And, you know, being able to clear your way to freedom for whatever it is that's been blocking you. And then you can actually have charts for yourself, if you will, and put on there what it is that you're working on for yourself. So whether it's, you could have a wealth board, you know, and make all the different clearings you can do for that, the timelines, the DNA, you know, perception, everything, amplification, anything that you need to do for clearing a certain area. Do all that. And, you know, it can just be an ongoing process too, if you don't have time to do it all in one fell swoop, but just having, you know, here's my wealth board and now I'm working on my weight. Okay, so that can be like an ongoing project, and just getting to zeroing in on every single thing that you can possibly come up with, and then checking your results as you go, and then whatever other board you have. And then these can be programs then that you can package and sell, you know, to your clients, because you know what didn't work. You know, that didn't seem to do anything. I wasn't getting a result there. But this stuff all was a part of that. This stuff all worked when I did it, or I'm testing, yes, it does. You might not have the exact response or the desired result yet, it may be that you just haven't experienced it yet, but it is there, you know, it's available to you now because it wasn't before, but you just aren't aware now that it's available to you. So you're not doing the actions that you would do if you knew it was there, right? So your body will tell you, yes, you know, this definitely is working, whether you realize it or not. So keep that in the program. And then that, all the different things that you did are all the different elements of your package or your product for the client. So then you can call it whatever you want to call it. If it's the vitality package or de-stress your life, or from overwhelm, or whatever you want to call it, some snappy name, something like that. And then you know it works. It works, you know, or you can even do it for a family member if you don't happen to have that issue, but somebody else that you know does. Maybe you just did it for your mother or whoever, right? So, and then just going by their results and how they're doing, how they're feeling, and just documenting the different things. And then you have a testimonial from somebody now too, right? So you have, if you did this for a friend or something, and then you can have them type up a testimonial and say that this worked for them. And then if you do it for another person, get their testimonial, and then now you have a page that you can put on your website with this package and a couple of people saying that it worked for them. This is what it includes and so forth. So now it's more enticing for somebody else, and they can actually feel that energy there. A lot of times, some people can't, but and then there's things you can do on your website too, but that's another topic for another section of the training. So
Arlene, can I ask you a question?
yeah,
And maybe this is offline to email you because I wasn't in your level 1 class, but because the DNA seems like such a powerhouse changer.
Yeah.
Would you ever, I realize that you said it was health issues, wealth, and love. But if your client is coming to you for one of those things, saying they're in an abusive relationship, would you not start with the DNA work?
you certainly can. Yeah. And for abusive relationship, but I would always do the energy first, you know, get their life force back up and get the attachments off them so that they're feeling better, you know, do all that first. Energy. Yeah. It's simple to do. And you just pretty much always start there, but you're going to ask the body, where should I, because that's a encompassing thing, right? Abuse. There could be so many areas to start with that.
I know.
Who knows, right? So you're going to ask their body.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have a chart for that too. I'll send you what to work on first.
And higher self too, asking their higher self.
Yeah. Yep. It's essentially that. You're asking them. So always, do I start with the mental? Do I start with the spiritual? Do I start with the energy? Do I start with the physical? Right. So that's what you're asking. And if you're going to get a yes for mental, okay, do I go into this area? Do I go into the brain? Or whatever, right? So those are the questions, and I'll send you that list. But yes, totally dependent on what their body says yes to first, because they may not be ready for certain things until other stuff gets cleared and they get an aha or something, you know, or maybe it's perception too. Yeah. So
all right,
then,
thank you.
Yeah, sure. So then DNA splicing. There's a problem that spiritual interferences do with our DNA. Okay, so DNA splicing, you may have seen that on the entity chart, where that was one of the anchors that you have to clear. So spiritual interferences or spiritual parasites or entity attachments, that we're calling them all the same thing, right? But that's what they do to DNA, or do with our DNA. So they splice in to our DNA so that they can avoid detection, like a ghost, right? So like when I had my late husband, he spliced into my DNA and was in the stomach. So I didn't know, you know, and that's what they do. So they avoid detection that way. So human DNA lasts for thousands of years. It can get passed on from generation to generation. So the information can be stored in the DNA. And yeah, scientists are looking at splicing into yours to store information about you. Scary. So like that, ID, like ID card or whatever, you know, some people scare people and say, hey, they want to splice into you and put your, like all you got to do now is just put your hand over something and, okay, you're admitted or you're not admitted, you know, depending on whatever's in that chip or who knows what it is, right? But they want to, that's one of the things they want to do, but we say no, we have to say no. We're not machines. So we can clear viruses from blood with clearing our DNA too. So for an example, you can ask, is there a program for HIV or coronavirus or whatever you want to say? Or for virus, okay? Is there a program for virus in your DNA? What do you guys get? No? Anybody get a yes?
I got a yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so
Yeah, I got it.
Down in my,
mark this down. This is one area you're going to want to do, a program for virus in your DNA. Yeah, that's a to-do. Were you genetically programmed with your DNA to have a dysfunction in your body or brain? That's part of genetics. And you could remove the cancer gene from your body, remove breast cancer DNA and cancer DNA, right? So, yeah, so this is what, these are all things that you can play with for yourself and do your own test for yourself. Very, yeah, and the people that had it removed, it's out. It's out of the body. And just know that it is. Once you did this protocol, just know it's out. I mean, you can muscle test it. You can have somebody else muscle test it for you. Just say, hey, did I complete this? Is this gone? You know, ask one of us or whatever to verify it for you, to find out if it is actually out. So we've already mentioned 3% is bad. And yeah, you're not taking all of your DNA out of your body. You're not removing DNA. I think I heard someone say that once you remove the DNA. So we're not removing DNA. We're just, it's the faulty programs in the DNA. So, so don't think when you're intending on working in the DNA, don't think about taking DNA out. We're not doing that. Yeah, and so, yeah, so that's once you've done quite a bit in this area, there's a possibility for raising the frequency vibration of the DNA. It doesn't take out the old programs, it just raises the frequency to God DNA, which is more available to create as you want. And so the process then, identifying the problem, programming, using muscle testing, intend to clear, using your mind, doing the shooting dice swirl hand movement, then testing with kinesiology for complete removal of the faulty program. So maybe about 5 minutes, you know, all in all there, maybe less as you get better at it. So yeah, know that you have the gift now and you're learning how to shift the field and the perception, essence, matter, energy, fields of genesis, embodiment, quantum, and amplification. And given those kind of gifts, you can do anything. So this is, we got power in our hands. This is powerful, powerful information. So really, it's not information that you can just like, if your friend's brother says, hey, I understand you can do this. Why don't you send me the information? I want to do that. Oh yeah, here you go. We don't want to do that because what if, not that you would, but I'm just saying for the sake of humanity, please, please just know that this is a gift, and you by, you know, being the trustworthy, you know, healers that, you know, from the light and whatever, we're trusted with this information, and that's who should be using it, you know, because yeah, it could probably be used by dark forces and so forth and just mess people up. I suppose it really could, but that's not what we're intending this to be for. So go from struggle. DNA attunement. Okay, so here we can, you could do, you know, like a meditation, ground, clear, release, sit in the center of your head, see that strand open up. Imagine all the failed DNA in the area that you're working in to show up as a darkened box, fix Fix it by seeing your spiritual pressure washer blast off all the dust, density, and darkness in this black box, and then imagining replacing the area on the DNA strand with golden light and new loving, perfect, beautiful elements from the perfect divine human blueprint. And from source, that is, say, you know, from God, and the highest and best from God. And so, again, I know this seems to be a little redundant, but issue to be cleared, approximate time. You could ask for an approximate time to clear it. You know, how long will this take? If you're interested in that, so that you could actually put that, if you're making up a package for a client, you can actually put in, well, how long will this take if I do the DNA clearing and the DNA activation? How long will that take? Okay, that's going to take you about 7 minutes or whatever. So you can see, hey, if this is going to take an hour and a half, then you're going to need to price it accordingly, right? So that would be good. And then just knowing, hey, it'll take me 5 minutes to do this. Okay, then great, sit down and do that, you know. Imagine the new or the fresh component, replacing the removed items with the new, better material, muscle test for completion. And then you can clear one of each. You can do one for health, one for love, one for money. And then you can go on. From here, DNA activations on yourself and other DNA in you if you have. So you can go into activations for how come I can't get past a certain income. Let's just say, just use the example of 50,000. Why is it no matter what I do, I just can't get past that, or I can't, or 100,000, I just can't break past the 100, whatever. Right? So that would be one. Struggling with debt. Why in the world am I always, you know, so far in debt, or get myself in debt where I can't breathe or, you know, do anything else? Why do I keep doing that? Immune system, the strength of your immune system. Why does that never seem to stay up, you know? Hair, balding patterns. So for men, there could be a package in here. Actually, there is a protocol for hair. For sure. So, so that could be another package you could do if you were specializing in men, maybe, or women too, because they have the,
Alopecia.
yeah, balding areas and patches and so forth. A lot of times it's thyroid, but you know, there's other things in DNA. It could be nervous system problems, love, relationships. You know, why do I always attract losers? What's the matter? That kind of thing. Or attracting an abusive partner. What is there? Yes, there could be something in your DNA that attracts you to these abusive people. And this could be coming down from generation to generation. You just can't seem to, you know, get past that. Just one to the next, one to the next. And so some people are like, I'm just sitting out. My picker is broken. That's what my cousin told me. My picker is broken. I'm not picking any more guys. So, so you could use this for a relationship package, you know, and just kind of let your mind go to see what works good for you. But yeah, then once the DNA is shifted through shooting the dice, then you can add on additional clearings. And just think of anything really, whatever the problem area happens to be for somebody, and just make that your project, you know, and work on it. So here's a clearing to clear all related programming and interferences related to faulty DNA. Is this the same one we did? Did we do this one? No. To clear all related programming and interference related to faulty DNA. Okay, so I have, the other one was to own. Okay, I'm sorry. To own and alter. But this one's to clear all related programming. Oops. And interference related to faulty DNA. Okay, well, I guess we're going to need to do this one too. This is a DNA clearing, so I'll send you the DNA chart, and I'm going to send the Word doc that goes along with this because for the clearings. And it's really kind of homework, really, to go into these and start doing them yourself. Finding out what's question, you know, what questions come up and so forth. So this one, we'll leave this one as homework because it may just take a little while longer than we probably are running out of time again. Let's see, right permission and ability to have and enjoy God DNA. Okay, so balancing with what the body can handle, up-leveling as the body shifts up, removing domination, suppression, and control. So that is, okay. That's this here. So I really don't know why I have it in two places. Okay, but that's there. So I'm gonna remove it here. And we'll get to that in a second here. So, so the message of your DNA. In the God Code DNA book, the message of your DNA, in ancient language, they decoded some Arabic, and it said, "Greetings from Yahweh. You have found the secret of creation. Now share it peacefully." And that message is actually already in the DNA. Interesting. So as we move into this higher vibrational frequency, our DNA, which has been marinating in lower vibrations all this time, is now able to shift up and move up vibrationally. So as we raise our thoughts and frequency with both inner and outer actions, we shift up to the fifth dimension. So you can use the left hand, which would be opposite the dominant right hand, and rocking in upward and palm facing inward, actually. So rocking in and upward. So it's kind of like a up, you know, kind of moving up, kind of like motion in a way, right? So, so this is what we can do because we're up leveling the DNA to God DNA today. What this process is, it's the bringing it up to a higher dimension, the fifth dimension. And then the next process is to bring more of your frequency of your DNA into God DNA into a higher frequency where you're more in charge of it. I think this should be a capital. So that you're more in charge. So we're going for, so then that's the clearing. I'm gonna clear all this to have God DNA.
Are we still using that same pump to clear it?
Yeah, actually, it's you can do this, yes, with your left hand. If you don't remember to do that, you can, you know, the right hand's always going to be able to do it. But this is actually the way that the body understands a little bit more about what you're doing.
What is this called?
It's really an uplift. I don't really have a name for it, but yeah, so.
Fifth level uplift?
Yeah, there you go.
What did you say?
Fifth dimension uplift.
Fifth dimension uplift.
5D uplift.
Yeah, let's do 5D uplift. Oh, that 5D. Okay.
If someone were left-handed, would they use their right hand then?
Yeah. Opposite. Mm-hmm. Yep. So go ahead and start clearing that. And then people could actually start feeling it, right? It starts in the middle of your chest, you can, and around your heart. Maybe it'll move out to your arms, perhaps. And then maybe it could move up and down. That's typically a normal progress. It could be something another way, but that's usually how it starts moving. And you know, where you're looking at where you actually can feel it in the body, that's the heart. And the heart is known as the sixth brain. So that's the connection to the God of our heart. And so it's also where you think, you know, that's where love, being the closest expression we have to the divine in our human body. So that's where love would, you know, start. So that's where this feeling starts. It's the God essence. Yeah. It's almost like a, come on in. Come on. Yeah, so let's continue with that. So you know now, right now, you are clearing for the right permission and ability to have and enjoy God DNA, balancing with what your body can handle, what, I don't know, my body can handle, and up leveling as the body shifts up, removing domination, suppression, and control. Excuse me. Okay. So continue with that. This is the lightness in the chest, maybe the arm. I was just saying about that. The DNA is starting to wake up and a lightening be happening. Starts in your chest, moving up into God DNA. DNA is from family. God DNA isn't one that resolves. Okay, so yeah, you're not going to zero here. You're not going, okay. It just, actually, this is something that can happen over a year or two. Really, it just depends on the person and where we are right now with our own expansion. This can happen, like, it can happen in just a really short period of time. Muscle test and see how long this might take for yourself to get to God DNA. This is how you start it. This is how we're going and getting to that. But yeah, definitely we can shift into that fifth dimension. Your ability to use your fifth dimension power and all that is dependent on other things. Everybody, it can be different, but you can be in the fifth dimension now, and having things come in and happen for you, to you, whatever, over a course of time, becoming more clear that things are happening. Yep.
There's a difference though, if like one can be in the fifth dimension but not have God DNA, correct? Or,
Not really.
oh, because I'm getting that I'm functioning in the fifth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it's saying I need time to get to my God DNA,
Well, we're clearing for God DNA right now, and that's what we're doing. So we're doing the clearing for it, and that's what this is. So we're intending right now that we are going to the fifth dimension, and also I'm actually doing vibration, frequency of vibration right now for everybody. So we are lifting into that area to be able to get into the fifth dimension. So it doesn't take a whole lot past 500, which all of us are anyway. So, so yeah. So we're pretty much already there. It's just that some of this stuff we probably haven't cleared yet, and that's could be blocking it for us.
So would you say even since level 1, we've been working towards God DNA activation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And let's check to see if we made progress here. So for God DNA, yes, we've made progress. So how close to having God DNA is everybody here in the group? Not just here, but the whole group. About 90%. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so we'll continue with the clearing, and I'm going to continue with the frequency. That's what I'm doing. Okay, telomeres. So if you've heard of telomeres, they've become a popular keyword, key phrase. People are talking about telomeres. And telomeres are key to reversing aging, it says here. And they are. So what they are, if you see this picture on the right here of a little sample DNA, the 4 prongs, you know, the 2 on the bottom, the 2 at the top, that, you know, those are the tips, like if you look at it like a Q-tip or whatever at the end. Okay, so the ends, you want to see them lengthening. So you want the ends of the DNA strand, which are called the telomeres, you want those to lengthen, to grow back to their full expression. So aging of the skin or the organs, the glands, the cells, it's reflected by damaged or shrunken telomeres. So this is something you can do. Just intend to see them improved, amp it up with the intention that you're improving the length of the telomeres in all of the DNA. So do this for yourself. And, you know, this could be a part of any of the programs that you have. You know, so just for example, if you're doing the adrenals again, okay, and then we're going to see the telomeres lengthening. So while you're working in DNA, you might as well just do this while you're in there. So it won't take long. I mean, what, a minute maybe? Go in while you're in, you know, while you're already in there, and while you're doing the work. So like, okay, you just blasted off the dark spots. Okay, so all the dark spots are cleared, right? So then you're sending the beautiful gold energy throughout the whole strand. Then this might be the time then that you go in and lengthen the telomeres. And once that is done, now you can match this perfection to all the other DNA in all the other cells. So you are going to match the lengthened telomere now also to the other cells. Has anyone heard of telomeres?
Yes.
Yeah.
They used to sell them, a lot of supplement companies, I remember, like through hormone, like as a nurse in hormonal therapy.
Oh.
Supplement companies were selling products that had in turn like digestible or telomeres.
Oh.
Or they were supposed to enhance your telomeres.
Yeah, I think the supplements are ones that are supposed to enhance your telomeres. I don't think you're ingesting.
Yeah, you're not taking telomeres. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What it was that actually was ingested, but.
Okay, so it's supposed to lengthen the telomeres then. Yeah.
Yeah, I work with them in my youthing process and my energetic facelift.
Oh, cool. And how long does it take, or what type of results do you see, or?
Well, the session is usually an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And usually after one session, some of the lines start going away from the eyes, and the mouth will soften. A lot of times the skin on the hands, or the spots might start going away. It just depends on how much stress and toxin, because it'll clear a lot of that out as well.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Telomeres are powerful.
I love that. Yep, the skin, that's the visible part that you can relate to, people relate to. They don't know that their organs are actually doing better because they can't feel them mostly, you know, right? But adding this part in to that, any work that you're already doing in the DNA, so once you get into the physical organs like we're going to be doing tomorrow, once we're in there, then adding this telomere lengthening in there will bring, you know, keep the health, you know, yeah. So bringing that health back. Definitely, yeah. So that's something else then to put on the process list. Let's see. I sent you the DNA activation process. Did that include, I don't think that had the Word doc I just sent you. I don't think that had telomeres on it. So you might want to take the Word doc I sent on DNA. Before it says final steps, now see the family bubble. So step 12, okay, 11, when all the black dots have been let go, then put in the healthiest program that exists, and then sending a pulse to seal it up. So between 11 and 12, I would say, lengthen telomeres. Yeah. So then that makes 12 number 13, then sending a golden wave after that to seal up the newly established DNA. Yeah, and then mirroring that perfection to all the other, yeah, you're gonna want to do it before that. So yeah, nice. Here, activate the, or would you put it before activating the, well, let's muscle test that. Before, after.
At the end.
Yeah, I'm getting after. So, okay. So here, this will be, yeah, tips of DNA strand. You got 15 here, so then this will be, yeah, 16 here. Yep. Okay, so that's it. Yeah.
And you send us that new one?
Yeah, I'll send you the slides when we're, yeah, with the changes I made.
So you'll be sending the slides tonight?
Yeah, I might as well. I might as well send you everything that we worked on so that you can have, and then just see how far you are with this very important clearing.
How much longer are we going today?
I think we're about complete because I don't want to start into a new subject at this point. This is what I wanted to get done today because this is all prep work then to go into the physical, which will start tomorrow. So, so knowing this groundwork and the pieces that we put into the actual regeneration of the glands and organs have to come first. Or in there, it's going to come in there. But, you know, when we get to the organ, it says, okay, now do the DNA. Like, oh, how? Right? So we want to have all this done first. So this is where I want to cut it tonight, unless you have some questions right now, or you just kind of want to take the information and integrate it. What we learned quite a bit of information here. So if there are no questions, we can wrap it up. and I'll get these charts out to you. You can just continue on. And then, yeah, please do, even if you can't do it tonight, at least set some time aside and do the DNA activations for yourself. One for wealth or money, one for relationships, and one for health of some kind. So,
Did you say that?
I had, Marlene, I had a quick question. Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Renee. Well, I saw the meditation one, which is kind of like a mini zip. Do you prefer one over the other? The one that it said, I think meditation maybe.
This
That
one?
was kind of like a, that
Yeah,
seemed like a zippity way to do it, but I was
Yeah.
just wondering what you thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Okay, yeah, because then here is where you could put the telomeres. Yeah. Yeah.
Just, I mean, putting that versus the more kind of step by step. It's just kind of
Right.
what you're feeling at the time kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you could do this with just this shortened, yeah, exactly. Just this is boom, 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 boom. Yeah, you don't have to go through. The other one's going to tell you, do this hand thing, do the blah, blah, now seeing over here, you're right. Yeah, but if you've already gone through it, just having this little short version to remember probably would be a lot easier. Yeah, good question. Yeah, I think that's.
Okay. Sorry, Renee, about that. Sorry.
Thank you. I was asking about the assignment. What did you say for that?
Okay, so do one for each. So I had it back here somewhere. It's not. Okay, so after that. I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. It was right after that. Do one for health, one for love, one for money.
And when we're doing that, we're assessing what the blocks might be for you.
Yeah, is there a faulty program in my DNA around
Health.
and you can say health like it's a general topic, or you could pick an area of health.
Okay. Oh, and just do one within health. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And love, okay, well, what's it around? Love, okay, it's around, your marriage, right? Or something like that, right? Be specific, or if it's your child or something. And then around money, is it that you want more income, or that you want less debt, or that you just can't seem to save, whatever, something like that. Have some type of specifics around it. So clear one of each. And then or at least do one. If you can just do one tonight, that would be great, so that you have the experience then for tomorrow when we get into the actual organs, because we're going to do it in the organ. So yeah, save this and there we go. Okay, very nice. So let's cut it here, and I'll send you the information. Any questions you have, go ahead and reply back to the email. Will be fine. And we'll meet at the same time tomorrow morning. And it's the same link for morning as we used this morning. It's the same link for the afternoon as we used for this afternoon. So I can send the email again to you, but if you still have the same email, it's the same link. So we're going to be using. So, all right. So any last questions, comments, any?
In the afternoon, can we have a 5-minute break? I've been having to go pee for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, because we're almost at 3 hours. Yeah, certainly. I know I have to go right now. Good question. We'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely, Janet. I think that would be good, just to kind of refresh too and come back in. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, DNA got a little lengthened here. So we lengthened our telomeres. Lengthen your bladder. Lengthen the telomeres on your bladder. That'll do it. That's the assignment for tonight. Kidding. Or not. Who knows? All right, everybody. So happy to see you. So this is wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Have a nice evening. Same time, same place.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.